This week in science, we begin a brand new unit where we are going to start studying the different forces of motion. We are going to start observing what a push is, what a pull is, and we're going to start observing how we can push and pull, as well as how other things and objects around us are affected by forces and motion.
Pushes and pulls change how things move. Forces can go in different directions. Pushes and pulls can be strong or weak. Pushes and pulls change how things move. Forces can go in different directions. Pushes and pulls can be strong or weak. So when you push with force, things move away. They'll move back to you when you pull. Pushes and pulls change how things move. Forces can go in different directions. Pushes and pulls can be strong or weak. A force can change an object's motion. A stronger force makes bigger change. Pushes and pulls change how things move. Forces can go in different directions. Pushes and pulls can be strong or weak.
To start our unit with learning about different forces, we are going to read a book today called Forces, Physical Science for Kids. What happens when your bedroom door gets stuck? You might have to force it open. When you force something, you make it do what you want it to do. Has your mom ever forced you to clean your room, or wash the breakfast dishes, or take your pet lizard for a walk? Bet she's never had to force you to eat ice cream for dinner, huh? There are other kinds of force too. There are forces that make us stick to earth. There are forces that make your soccer ball fly into a goal. There are forces that make your soccer ball roll to a stop before it even gets to the goal. Have you ever jumped off a chair? Have you ever jumped off a sidewalk? Have you ever jumped out of a tree? P.S. Don't jump out of trees. When you jump, do you fall up or down? You fall down because of gravity. Everything in the world is held to earth because of gravity. Gravity is a force. It's the most important force in the world. If gravity got turned off, which can never happen, our cars, pet lizards, picnic tables, and everything else would zoom away. Gravity is the force that holds everything together. What else holds things together? When you put pictures on your refrigerator, you use a magnet to make them stick. Magnetism is another force. Magnets can attract or repel each other. Every magnet has a north pole and a south pole. If a north pole and a north pole are put together, they repel each other and move farther away. If a north pole and a south pole are put together, they attract each other and move closer. So remember that a north pole and a north pole are going to repel each other. That means they're not going to go near each other. They're going to move further away. However, if you put a north pole and a south pole together, they will move closer together. When you and your friends have a tug-of-war, you are using forces on the rope. One team creates a pulling force going one way, while the other team creates a pulling force going the other way. Who wins the tug-of-war game? Whoever can make the strongest force. What happens if both teams make equal forces on the rope? Does the rope move? Does anyone win the game? What a great question. Forces can be pulling forces. There are also pushing forces. When you push your little sister on a swing, you are using a force to make her go higher and higher. And higher and higher and higher, too high. What happens when the swing swings down? Better watch out. The swing and your sister can use a pushing force on you if you're in their path. When you ride a bicycle, what makes the wheels move? You are using a pushing force on the pedals, which makes a pushing force on the wheels. Your wheels move on the ground and send you riding your bike across the pavement. What happens if you lift up your feet and stop pedaling? You might glide for a while, especially if you're going downhill. But eventually your bike will stop. You will stop. What makes you stop? Another force. A force called friction makes the bike stop. Friction happens when things rub against each other. The bike wheels rubbing against the pavement makes the bike slow down and stop. So remember, what was that word called that makes the bike stop? That's right, it's friction. So friction is a force that causes a bike to come to a stop. Forces are what keep us on the ground, make us move, and stop us from moving forever. Be on the lookout for forces all around you. Awesome. So this week we are going to begin our new unit about learning about different types of forces. So remember that in this book today we learned about some of those forces such as pushing, pulling, friction. And so we also learned examples of what those things look like, such as if you are pushing someone on the swing, or if you are pulling a rope. Remember that we learned about magnets. We talked about how magnets can attract or repel each other. Attract means that they will come closer. Repel means that they will go further away from each other. Remember that if you want your magnets to come together, then you must put the North Pole and the South Pole together. Remember that we know that we are held here on Earth thanks to the force of what? Gravity. That's right. Without gravity, everything would float away. However, thanks to gravity, we are grounded and we will stay put. Stay tuned as we learn more about different types of force.